You want to be in our video with yourself? What is it like to be pregnant with your twin?
Crazy.
This is our video about what it's like to be pregnant as twins. This is not something that we had planned to be pregnant together by no means, but God had other plans, and we both did kind of announcement videos, so we're going to link in the description to that, because sometimes we still get comments on the channel that say, oh, I didn't know you were pregnant, or I didn't know you were both pregnant. So we'll link to those videos in the description if you want to kind of watch those. But I'm about 6 months pregnant at this point in time.
I'm 9 months pregnant.
Katie is about 9 months pregnant.
I am, yeah.
And we got Olive with us. She wanted to sit in our laps.
Yeah, this has kind of been a wild ride. Again, it's definitely not something that we planned, but it's actually really cool. I'm glad that this has happened. Glad that we are getting to experience this together.
So as far as what it's actually like to be pregnant with your twin, for us, it's awesome because we're so close and we love each other so much. We've done a video about what it's like to be twins too, so we'll leave that in the description. But for us, it's just been really cool, and maybe more cool for me in the sense of, since Katie's been ahead of me, I've been able to kind of look at her, and she's really been able to help me because our pregnancies have been exactly alike. We're both having boys, and they've pretty much been identical. So she's really been able to help me and say, oh, okay, you know, you're at this point, here's what to expect, or things get a little bit easier, especially in the beginning when you feel super sick at your stomach. So that has been awesome, and it's just such an amazing thing being pregnant in general. And you never think about being pregnant. You just don't ever think about that. Even, you know, when you're a little girl, you might think, oh, you know, someday I may grow up and have kids. And even, you know, you get married and you think, well, okay, you know, someday probably going to start a family. But you just don't really think about it or don't know what it's like until you're actually pregnant.
That's true. And then you're like, wow, this is just a lot harder than what I thought.
It's a crazy ride.
I don't even know if it's not like I thought it would be easy. Like, just the very idea of growing and housing another human sounds difficult, sounds hard. But I don't know, I guess I never thought it, it's just not, unless you've experienced it yourself, it's just not something that I could describe or explain.
So then, for us getting to experience that together is just so special, because most people never think about when they were in the womb.
Mm-mm.
So at some point, all humans were in their mother's womb, right? But we were in our mother's womb together.
That's true. Like, from day one, so it's like we were never not together from the very beginning. Like, our boys will never not remember each other because they'll only be, you know, a couple months apart. And so that's cool, but like, we really never were separated, ever. From like instantaneous, we were together the entire time.
So then, how special to be able to have our children and be pregnant at the same time. So we experienced being little babies in the womb together, and now we're experiencing having our kids together.
Our first child, yeah, that's just crazy. It's been a wild ride, but it's also been cool for me too, because it's been neat to have somebody else go through this and experience it, and me be able to say, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? You know, or Corey, you know, she gets to whatever point and I'm like, yeah, I remember that. So sometimes it's almost like misery loves company kind of thing. But it's really cool to have somebody else experience this miracle, and not just anybody. I mean, the person that you're closest with, to experience this really like special miracle that you're experiencing too at the same time.
Yeah, it's really just kind of surreal, and it's funny because our pregnancies have been, I mean, just like spot on similar. And I mean, of course, even down to we're both having boys, but kind of, I think, you know, my baby's smaller than yours at this point, but still, like, where he lays and how he moves has all been like exactly the same.
It's strange. Ultrasounds have proved that, as far as like actually getting a sight line on how baby is positioned. I went, I guess, early. I had a few ultrasounds, so I had one pretty early on, And he has stayed from being in that position. He stayed in that position the entire time, and he's not moved. And then the later ultrasounds only confirmed that he has just kind of picked a spot and stayed. And some babies do that some. And so I was really curious when I went to one of Corey's ultrasounds if I would see the same thing. I was like, if that's not looking at my baby, it's just like looking at my baby.
Yeah.
He has picked this same, like, exact same position and has stayed there. So, and everything that you've told me as far as, like, I feel him over here. This is what he does. This is what I'm experiencing. I'm like, that's exactly what I experienced. To the point where there's some stuff that, like, there's no way you could experience what I'm experiencing and describe it in the way that you did. Like, that's how I knew. I was like, the only someone that has felt what I have felt could use that descriptive term to tell me what's going on. So I'm like, then Corey must be feeling exactly what I'm feeling, or you wouldn't have said that, because that's it.
Right.
I couldn't have described it better.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, if it's what the baby moves or how you feel or whatever. And we've both been really lucky to have really good pregnancies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, oh my gosh, we've been so blessed. And it's interesting. We both see the same doctor, and I actually had an appointment just, 2 hours before we started filming this video. And it was funny because she had an appointment yesterday. And the nurse who I don't know, checked me in or took me back, looked at me. And I guess she seen Katie in the waiting room, and she said, "That's your sister." I said, "Oh, yeah." And she's like, "She's pregnant too, and y'all are pregnant at the same time." And I said, "Yeah." And then I sat there for a while, and she looked at me and she said, "But y'all look so much alike. Are you twins?" And I said, "Yeah." So she thought that was really neat, that we were, twins. And I wonder how often that office and that doctor sees, twins that are, pregnant at the same time.
Maybe, I would say very rarely, maybe never. This could be, well, I should ask him the next time I go, is this the first time that you have seen this? And then it'll be really interesting after it's all said and done, how my delivery process goes and how your delivery process, if it's a very similar experience for the doctor and the nurses, like, and I think,
and for us, and I
think it will be.
I bet it will be. And I know probably to most people there's at least some aspects of this that probably seem so strange, but when you're a twin, I mean, and you're close, not all twins are close, but when you're as close as we are, we didn't do this on purpose. No, we did not. It just worked out this way. But it's hard to explain. I don't think anything of it. It's not even necessarily that I think, wow, we're twins and we're pregnant together. We've just pretty much always done everything together. So this just feels so normal. Like, why would we not do this together? Again, we did not plan it. But
well, and a lot of stuff has been like that in our life. Things that have just happened to us at the same time that we never planned. And some of it is like subconscious, and it just kind of happens. So I guess you in one way take it for granted, because I'm like, we just do everything together always at the same time. And so many of like these things in life that happen to you just so happen together. I mean,
even we would go to the dentist together. I mean, even stuff like that would kind of weirdly work out to where we would have like the same number of cavities maybe until we go to the dentist together. Or of course, usually, and this is this way with any siblings, one of them gets sick, usually it runs through the whole household. So, go to the doctor together. So this seems really pretty normal, but then when you really stop and think about it, it is, for us, has been such a blessing to just get to have each other and have support. And then we're both going through the same thing. We're both trying to learn and prepare and understand and go through the same thing. And then for me, I kind of got like perhaps the best end of the deal, because I'm behind. So I'm getting to see, it's almost like I'm getting a trial run.
A preview
of everything, of the pregnancy, of delivery, of everything. And I would say that that's pretty on par for our relationship, for our life. I feel like Katie has always been the one who jumps into something first and then, says, "It's okay, Corey," and then I kind of figure it out. Okay. Yeah, and again, that's not what happened. We didn't plan to get pregnant at the same time. I'm just saying now that afterwards, it's like you're paving the way, and that's kind of how our personalities are. I think when we're together, I like to let Katie lead, and I like to sit back and survey the room, watch and plan and be like, okay, here's our next move.
I think, I would just, and I feel on the other side of that, I felt like, even though I'm only 2 minutes older, I just always felt like, well, it's my job. Well, I'm the leader. Well, I need to, like, this sense of responsibility of, like, when you have when you really do have, like, younger siblings, several years of an age gap, then you do feel responsible, like, well, I got to take care of my sibling, and I got to do all these things to help them and show them and guide them, because I've already been here and I've already done this, and this is my job to make sure that everything that they do turns out okay and turns out well for them. And even though we're only 2 minutes apart, I just always thought that. I'm like, ever since we were little, like when we were really little, I don't know why I call Corey my brother, but I'd be like, don't talk to my brother, don't spank my brother, don't mess with my brother. Like, I just had this feeling of, I need to do that because, I don't know, but I'm also, like, extremely mother hen. I'm, like, going to try to mother everything and everybody.
But that's good, because that's going to make you a good mom.
I'm like, I be trying to mother people who are not
other
people's kids. I'm like, come here, I'll help you, what's wrong?
That's just our, like, natural personality. And I think a lot of the times with twins, and definitely comment below if you're a twin and you have been pregnant with your twin, definitely let me know. Let us know, I mean. But that's just kind of our personality. Katie's always kind of had the lead, and I'm just not like that. If there's someone else there who will lead, I will be more than happy to let someone else be the leader and let me just kind of fade into the background and kind of watch and survey, and I don't know.
But that's kind of the yin and yang of
because that works. I mean, we couldn't both be leaders, or we couldn't both be, wanting to not do anything.
It does work, because sometimes I need some of that more gentle, kind of reserved, quiet calmness that Corey has, which I have definitely. I'm a whole lot tamer than I used to be.
But then sometimes I need a little bit of, like, the kick in the behind of just, do it, or just go, or just make the decision. But another thing that being pregnant, as twins together has made us think about, just having one baby and what that feels like. How did our mom do 2 babies? What would it be like to be pregnant with twins?
We were almost 3.5 to almost 4 weeks early, and we still together almost weighed 12 pounds.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, if you carried us like that long and we were already almost 12 pounds together, imagine what we would have been if she carried us any longer. That's rough.
Yeah. And there's been a lot of people who have commented, tons of people on the channel throughout time who have said that they are a twin or they had twins. And it's hard for me to imagine what, like, double of this would be like.
I know.
So it's crazy.
Yeah, this gives me a greater appreciation
Absolutely.
For every mom, for my mom, for just this entire experience, because to be honest, even if you have like a smooth, healthy, quiet, uneventful pregnancy, which I've been incredibly blessed to have, it's still hard. It's still really tough. It's a mental game every day. And then
growing a baby's a lot of work.
Then 2, I'm like this, it will if you're not just someone who doesn't care about anything, then this will definitely, absolutely, in a very short amount of time, change you. It will just 360, and your whole life will look different, and everything you see and everything you think and everything you view will be just so different. And if anything, I've been like, I already had this realization several years ago, wow, everything mom and dad said was right, and they were really just trying to help me, and it only makes sense since they have 25 years on me. Wow, of course that only makes sense, but this really puts you in that perspective. Wow, of course everything they said was right, and all those other parents, they were right too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just, I'm so thankful.
Oh my gosh,
it's hard to
yes.
spit out what I'm trying to say, because this is such from the time really conception, from the time you find out you're pregnant, in one way your whole life just changes. Things are just different from then on, and not just physically, emotionally, but things are just different. And for me, that has been really
good for me.
I feel like it's been good for both of us. It's made me, I don't know, maybe more mature, more responsible, closer to God for sure, and it just makes you different. And it's in some ways it really is like stepping out of your I don't want to say old life, but it's just stepping into something new, and after that it'll never be the same. But that's so exciting, and it's so wonderful and such a blessing to be able to carry life and have kids. And I'm just so glad we get to do it together.
Me too. And I would say no matter how you end up carrying life, no matter how that ends up, how that process goes, as long as you realize I've got this precious life and you're willing to do whatever it takes to rise to that responsibility and rise to that calling, then that's all that counts. You don't have to worry about the details. If the details were shaky, if this isn't what I meant to happen, if this isn't what I meant to do.
Yeah.
It took me my entire pregnancy to come to do with the crying stuff. It kills me. Oh, it kills me. No, I'm not going to do it. No, don't do it. Whew, I think I avoided it. It took me my entire pregnancy to come to that realization, but as long as you're willing to own your responsibility, as long as you're willing to do the right thing, and then say, no matter what happens, it's my responsibility to love and nurture and provide for this child, and I'm more than ready and I am more than willing to do it, then that's all she wrote. That's all that counts. And
every life is a blessing and a creation from
exactly.
God. I mean,
and if you're gonna love the life and be good to it, then it don't matter how it got here. And it doesn't matter if people let you down and people don't do their part. It doesn't. What matters is that you're willing to do your part.
Yeah.
And I am more than willing because, like I said, I think about how much I love my baby cousins and love the precious kids at church. So I'm like,
it's just,
what about my own?
Exactly. And then what's crazy is then I will be an aunt first. I mean, technically we're both already moms, right? I mean, we have the babies in the womb, but you know what I'm saying. I will be an aunt first and you'll be a mom. And then like 2.5, 3 short months later, you will be an aunt. And I will be a mom. So it's just so incredibly special getting to share this. And
I will say that I feel like the reason, one of the biggest, if not the entire reason, but one of the biggest reasons I've had such a healthy pregnancy is the prayers. It has been all of you people reaching out to me and saying sweet things and saying nice things to me and sharing your story with me and lifting my spirits. And then the prayers, people praying for both of our pregnancies and deliveries and the prayers at church. And I just feel, I'm like, I have the best chance I could possibly have at having a successful pregnancy. And of course now I'm really narrowing down to this mindset of delivery because of all the people praying for me. And it just means the absolute world to me. It means more than you could ever imagine, knowing that I'm going to go into this, because I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. Everybody's nervous about this delivery process, but knowing that I'm going to go into this process with all of the prayers.
Yeah, that means so much to us.
It's just more than money, more than gold, more than anything. It is the best thing you could do for me.
And we really do feel like we can feel all those prayers.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking
I know I can.
Just today, thinking, all these people are praying for us. I mean, we're not just praying for each other, our family praying for us. There's so many people praying for us and the babies, and that just means the absolute world to us. And we pray for y'all, and feel free always, as we say, to drop requests for prayer, because we pray for our YouTube family every day.
We do, and I'm praying for all the other expectant mothers.
Yeah, we've also got those emails, and we've kind of got a list of
people out there.
Our prego ladies. That's what we like to say in our head, that we pray for every day. So that's kind of our experience of what it's like to be pregnant with your twin, and it's so awesome. It's so awesome. It's such a blessing, and we're so thankful. We're so excited. So excited about having 2 little Rugrat boys running around.
It's true. And it's really rewarding for me to feel like I could be of use or service or of help, and being able to tell Corey, well, hey, this is what worked for me. This is what I did.
Absolutely.
And this is, I'm like, even if I'm like get down to the complicated, this is the pillow nest that I sleep in, and it works well for me. I told Corey, and it's actually, she's kind of done something similar, and it's worked for her.
And all of that is so helpful. And I'm glad that I've been able to, I don't know as much because I'm behind you, but I'm glad I've been able to support you in
just any kind of help,
little ways that I can.
Any kind of help. So sooner than later. I mean, that's the weird thing when you crunch down to the end. It's like, could be a month, could be less than a month, could be tomorrow.
Nobody really knows.
No, nobody knows. So,
but we appreciate you watching. Drop a comment and let us know what you think. And as always, God bless you, God keep you, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye. I'm out of here. I need to go get something for my heartburn. Whew.
Ooh.